Hi guys, Coach Bon here, upper mid-range narcissist. And before you go any further, please bear in mind that anything I say after this is my attempt at manipulating you and or controlling you to give me fuel. If you do so, I would like to say thank you. And also please bear in mind, any comments that you give me is fuel. Meaning you acknowledge what I say and you put in some attempt or effort at trying to acknowledge what I do. Okay? So you can't not give me fuel if you comment. You don't want to give me any fuel, don't comment. Alright? Now, with that out of the way, please like and subscribe and share if you feel I deserve fuel from other people or from you. Okay. Before we start the talk, always open the Vortex of Creation by being thankful. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I would like to thank my parents. I would like to thank my ex-wife. I would like to thank Chief Pete Sapper and the best tribe in the world, Empath Uprising, 144K light workers, all the empaths, super empaths, heyokas, alright, the shallow cells, or whatever. Alright, so they've been fueling me, okay, not shallow cell, okay, obviously. They've been fueling me these past few weeks, okay, in a way, spurring my efforts at trying to see what role a narcissist can play in this world. Because I do believe there's a role that we need, that I'm supposed to play. Alright, so today's talk is mostly about that. Before I go to that, I would like to say first, sorry for not putting in any new videos. These past 2 weeks, I've been trying to assimilate all the teachings that I've been given by Chief Pete Sapper and also by all my other masters, like HD Tutor and Sam Vaknin, right? Trying to see whether I can use it in a practical sense, okay? Knowing yourself is one thing, but trying to use it in a practical sense, trying to not do all the other ineffective strategies that I've been using before, and trying to move forward with this condition or this advantage that I have, and to see whether I can contribute to myself, obviously, and in doing so as well, be more effective at gaining fuel and being more in control with my environment. Okay, if that helps you guys out as well, good for you. Now, there's been immense pros at being an aware narcissist and some cons. Okay, the great thing about being an aware narcissist is you get to actually figure out what triggers you, so you can avoid those kind of situations before they actually come about. And also, I'm a bit more efficient at fueling myself. Okay, one interesting thing that I figured out about fueling, there is such a thing as too much. So I like to fuel just enough to give me the required energy without actually making me go all greedy and try to just grab every single fuel I can find. Okay, obviously it's great to have a big fuel matrix so I can get fuel consistently. It kind of sucks to get fuel sporadically, so I would like to have fuel when I need it, anytime and any place. Alright, so the other pros that I can get from being an aware narcissist is I am a lot less confused about my emotions. Okay, it's really great. Okay, so I don't feel weirded out anymore when somebody dies, for example. I don't really feel like I want to cry, some stuff like that. So don't get me wrong, a lot of my family members died this year, and kind of weirded me out why I can't really, cry and all that kind of stuff. So to avoid the situation where people think that I'm like a weirdo, I do try to cry. I can try, actually. Usually I'll need a song trigger. Okay, I use songs to trigger the tears to come out, but it's like really sick it. The best I can get is like that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, anyway, It's been a lot less confusing about my emotions that I feel. It's more obvious that I feel fear most of the time, anxious, okay, probably due to trying to maintain the facade, right, and my narcissism. And also, I feel a lot of fury, okay, every time I get narcissistically wounded, okay. So I don't get wounded as much when I'm in Sandakan, okay, because everything is known to me, it's under control to me, and of course it's my family. So it's been great. So I'm getting fueled all the time, okay. My primary fuel at the moment is from my parents, okay, specifically my mom, okay. My dad's a narcissist, so kind of tough to get some fuel from him. And also to a certain extent I'm getting fuel from the kids that we have over of my nephews and my niece, and also my sister, okay, my empathic sister, okay, Lisa. Anyway, those are the pros and cons that I got from being an aware narcissist. So things are looking pretty good at the moment, okay. Okay, the second thing that I want to be talking about is I had a conversation in the comment section with someone named Rescue Lady who identifies herself as being borderline. Okay, so we had a little bit of chatting, and she asked about the cheating situation with a narcissist. So I'm not really familiar with borderlines. Okay, but in any case, with us, the compulsion to get fuel, especially if your primary fuel source is not available, is very strong. Okay, it's very strong. And obviously it's pretty easy for us to manipulate stuff over here, especially if you look as good as me, right? Okay, so I'm a bit fat, but it's okay. Get thin again after this. The compulsion is strong, but the reason why I don't cheat is due to the brainwashing that I received from my narcissistic dad. My narcissist dad. Okay, so I don't do that, especially with, and also I don't smoke. So that's basically the reason why I don't cheat. It's not because I have a higher feeling of loyalty to any particular thing. In fact, if you have an understanding of my religion, which is Islam, and the religion that's the official religion in Malaysia, I can marry up to 4 if I want to. Okay, obviously I don't do that. I only marry with 1. Okay, Coach Shaz. Okay, guys. Here's a thought. She also asked me what would be my end game. Okay, end game. She implied that perhaps one of the end game that I should strive for is to self-fuel, which I definitely can. I can definitely self-fuel, but it takes an immense amount of energy, and it is so minuscule. Okay, so I only use that strategy when I'm in a fuel crisis. Okay, based on what Heshitudo say, meaning here I'm like in really deep shit. Okay, so the recent fuel crisis that I had was just a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, when I had my divorce. So I didn't have any fuel from my primary source. Ended up just hanging out by myself. So if you saw any videos from that period of time, you can see that I'm like really crappy. I look like crap, basically. Okay, all right. But it got me thinking, what would be the end game of someone with my condition? All right, I'm pretty sure 100%, okay, probably not 100%, probably 99.99% sure that I will not be able to beat this compulsion. All right, so HG Studio did mention that there's a few primary aims that we try to go for, right? Fuel, definitely. I probably can survive without fuel for a long time if needed, or with just a small amount of fuel if needed. It's just that every time I'm fueled, meaning here I'm able to manipulate some kind of emotion from you, some kind of reaction from you, from my actions, it really gets me motivated, like really moving, man. Like my brain's working on overtime. Okay, so that's like the reward, my reward system, like on fire, right? So apparently, biochemically speaking, my dopamine system just like goes off. Okay, makes my brain works fantastic. You know, I get lots of ideas, right? And I'll be able to do a lot of work, right? And then it makes my mind more clear, right? So it's a very addicting feeling. Okay. Now the second thing is I need to be able to control my environment. Okay. So the feeling of control is it's so powerful, guys. It's so powerful. Okay. On one hand, every time I'm narcissistically wounded, meaning here I'm criticized in somehow, some way, and my narcissism sees it as a challenge to my control, it is painful. It is so painful. All right. I don't like losing as well. It's very painful to me. All right. So I mentioned in an earlier video that it's as painful as being knifed in the body. All right. Obviously, it doesn't feel like a physical knife wound, but it just feels like this sharp stabbing pain deep into my soul. Okay. So couple that with my instinctive nature to try to take back control, which is like a very strong compulsion, like unbelievably strong. I doubt that I will be cured. Yeah, cured in a sense that I do not have this kind of compulsions anymore. Okay, it's kind of like when you try to sneeze and then you try to hold it. You probably can hold it for a while, but eventually you will sneeze and then you'll feel like all kinds of good. Okay, the longer you hold that sneeze, the more you'll feel like you want to, like that itch you just need to scratch. All right. Now, got me thinking, what would be the end game? What would be a role of a narcissist in this world? Got me thinking, right? Now, what would be a situation where there is a total lack of control in your life, in this whole world? Okay. The best I can think of, all right, if you're thrown in like 20, like in ancient times when you live in the caves, you are not in control of anything. Everything wants to kill you. You don't even feel safe at home. You don't even safe outside of the house. You have to constantly fight for survival. All right. So I cannot imagine any other situation that's more out of control than living in those times. Okay. What would be someone in my situation do in those kind of situations, right? Okay. What if a child with the genetics to be a narcissist was born in that situation? You know what's going to happen? That person will be a narcissist because there's no control, man. All right, everyone's dying left and right. You're always hungry, so it's important. It got me thinking. Narcissism is important for survival. In those days, pretty easy, man. Just make sure the tribe don't die. Okay. So one of the things that I have with my narcissism is anyone who's part of my fuel matrix is automatically kind of part of my tribe. Okay, I need to protect these guys because these guys give me the fuel that I need. So if you think about it on people living in those days, let's say a narcissist would obviously be predisposed or maybe have a bigger advantage due to their feeling of needing those fuel to actually control the tribe. Okay, they'll have more motivation. All right, they'll have more motivation to achieve. They'll have more motivation to bring food to these guys. Okay, so someone with my condition needing fuel in those conditions will have the most motivation of all of these things, and if not being the best in terms of strength, okay, I'll have the most ideas. I don't know what are narcissists, okay, guys, but fuel to me feels like it's grinding my brains to move. Okay, I'll able to think so clear. Okay, I can like think about 10 steps forward, 20 steps forward. Everything moves in slow motion. Everything is so clear. All right, so that's number one. Number two, my feeling of control. My lack of empathy. Meaning here, I would do anything in my power, psychopathically, I guess, to protect my fuel source. Meaning here, right, I would have no problem killing, for example. In those days, killing is survival. I would have no problem killing you and stabbing you in the face. Because I won't feel any empathy for you, man. And I won't even like go home and lose sleep over it. Of course, I don't go out stabbing people right now because that's the stupid thing to do, right? Because I still do feel fear. I don't really want to get caught, for example, and thrown in jail. Okay? So in those days, someone with a narcissistic predisposition will obviously be, at the very least, someone who will protect the tribe from outside attacks, outside or whatever that's threatening the tribe at that point of time. Okay? That's what we do. That's what we do best. I mean, logically speaking. All right. Now, we got a problem right now. Okay, we got a problem right now because this world doesn't operate that way anymore. We don't go all over the place and killing people. All right? But it does tell me probably that's a clue to what my role could be in this world. Okay? Obviously, my fuel matrix is going to be part of my tribe. And one of the ways where I'll protect my tribe is to destroy whatever it is that's stopping them from giving me fuel. Who knows what it is? Just gives me a clue. So probably one of my end game. I mean, the obvious conclusion you would get, if let's say I keep gathering fuel, my fuel matrix keeps growing, I keep getting more motivated to do it, and I keep trying to control things, the obvious thing that's going to happen is, let's extrapolate this a little bit, is world domination, man. That's the only place I can stop. Okay, if I never stop, I keep going forward, then the end game, let's say I live like a 2,000, 3,000 years, I don't know, is world domination. Okay, that's the end game for someone with narcissistic tendencies or being a narcissist. So the more narcissist you are, the more you're gonna try to do that. Okay, since you don't, I don't know how far in the narcissistic scale I am. I probably have some empathic qualities. I have no idea. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't have any empathic qualities. I'm pretty sure I do have a little bit, right? But it's really muted. Like really, I don't know. Maybe I'm 80% maybe narcissistic and 20% empathic. I don't know. So it's very muted. So the dominant traits that I have is narcissism. Right? So this is probably going to be my first video that reaches 20 minutes. All right? Okay. So knowing that you have a capacity for destruction, specifically destroying enemies, how would you define an enemy for you? Like I said, the clue is the fuel matrix. The fuel matrix. What threatens the fuel matrix is the enemy. Is the enemy to kill. Now here's the problem. What if the fuel matrix doesn't know what it is that's supposed to kill? That I'm supposed to kill. I'm supposed to destroy. I'm supposed to control. Now we get a problem if that happens. Because you know what I think? If the fuel matrix does not know what is supposed to be destroyed, then the obvious answer for me is, as a narcissist, just attack whatever I want. As long as it doesn't hurt the fuel matrix. Right? Anyway, those are just some of the things that I was thinking of while I was going through this whole 1 month plus. Pretty sure my capacity for destruction is pretty high on the scale. And like I said, Malaysia loves narcissists. Anyway, if you enjoyed what I said, Leave a like, that fuels me. Leave a comment, fuels me even more. Subscribe and share. Done.